Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Empowered Whole Being TV, EWB TV. Today's Thursday, 3 p.m. Pacific, my try to be usual time. Last couple weeks, there's been a lot of my own inner release process going on, and it just was so interesting because the 2 weeks ago, there was so much of that fear and angst energy. I could not even get onto this and do it. And then last week, I jumped on to do this recording and to live stream, and there was no sound. So today I've checked everything and it should be recording with sound. Yay! I want to talk today about self-nurturing, the importance of self-nurturing, and how, not only what it is, but how it actually expands the experience of self-love. I know that's bantered around quite a bit in the spiritual communities and self-exploration, self-realization world. You know, the importance of self-love. The thing about it is, how do you do that when there's such a feeling of pushback, of self-rejection? So one of the things I do, techniques I do and tools I offer my coaching clients is to what I call the commitment to self-nurturing. And basically what it is the night before, you write down in a journal, or it can be on a smartphone or tablet in the notes section. It's important to write it down somewhere. I'll explain why in a second. Write that down the night before. 2 acts of self-nurturing. And then the next day you follow through with that. So this is why these different steps are important and create more of results, create more self-love experience. Number 1, the act of writing down has an unconscious effect on our human consciousness, what I call the avatar here in the sim world. And what it does is it formulates the commitment to that action of self-nurturing. It initiates into the quantum field the space for that action to take place. It opens the door for receiving and honoring the self-nurturing action. Without writing it down, it can become nebulous. It can become almost arbitrary and not full commitment. And I know this from my own personal experience. Until I made that commitment, I didn't realize, and I was able to observe the difference, that prior, the 2 acts of self-nurturing that I commit to every day for my avatar are meditating and doing clearing work while I meditate. Because as an intuitive empath, lots of stuff can build up, and it can be very overwhelming. So by meditating and feeling the singularity of my true self and clearing out any contraction, fear-based frequencies that are not of any purpose or don't serve, that's one of them. The second one is stretching and doing yoga routine that I have every day. What I found before really committing by writing down is that those 2 actions would either get put aside for somebody else or something else, or when I performed them, there was this rejection of it, as if I shouldn't be doing that for myself in that moment. There was a resistance to receiving the expansion, the blessing of that self-nurturing act. So writing it down opens the door to further deeper receptivity of the self-nurturing action. So that's really important. And what will happen, I guarantee it, if you commit to this for a week, you will begin to notice that life begins to ease up and flow more effortlessly. And that's because you're tapping into the beauty of you, aka self-love. You're feeling the beauty of the essence of what you really are is quantum consciousness. You're aligning, you're receiving, you're connecting with who you really are. Now, this is similar in some respects and different in others than the action of saying thank you in the morning when you wake up and expressing gratitude and feeling grateful. That still can be a little bit separate, external. Whereas choosing 2 things a day, whatever they are, I mean, it could be a nap, it could be going for a run, it could be watching your favorite TV show, reading a book for 20, 30 minutes that you enjoy, that brings you a sense of peace and happiness to do those actions. Whatever action it is, it uplifts you. It feels good. Your heart expands. Your belly is soft and welcoming. You feel in alignment with the beauty of you. It nurtures you. Whatever that is. When you write them down and commit to them, and you do those 2 acts a day for a week, you will have successfully realigned your feeling focus with that of what I call the counterclockwise expansion spin energy, which is what all the feeling good feelings are comprised of. It's the essence of what we really are, that quantum self. It's bringing your physical self in alignment and in coherence with your quantum self. I guarantee things will begin to flow. The feedback I receive from my clients is such that they're creating differently. They're bringing more goodness in their life by just nurturing and honoring and rejoicing in the beauty of who they are. And that's what the self-nurturing acts do. It's not like you're going, oh, I have to rejoice in myself. It's just feeling good for those and receiving it fully. That's the key. And that's what makes the difference. So self-love is tapping into the actual essence of what we really are, the unified love consciousness that we are, because we are all unified. This is part of the work that I'm doing in preparing to revise my book for the 4th time, the last time, the 4th edition, is really delving into the differences between the duality paradigm and the singularity paradigm. Duality is inside, outside, separation, illusion of separation, all of those. Us and them. Singularity paradigm is all about the unification of what we already are is one consciousness. And without the filters, without the barriers. And feeling that there is no inside or outside. There is just unity. And all that entails and means. So I encourage you to play with this. Have fun with it. 2 self-nurturing actions per day. Writing them down the night before. either on your smartphone in the notes or in your journal, whatever works. But the main point is to the action of commitment by writing them down and then doing them the next day. Now keep in mind that if you find that this is a challenge for you, that's information. You're not failing. What you're doing is you're discovering what your unconscious blocking beliefs are and why you may have struggled up until now to feel self-love, to experience it, to rejoice in it. So it's all part of the shift. All of that data, all of that information. I guarantee you, if you stick with it, you'll begin to see yourself differently. You begin to feel that you're not separate, that you are connected. Because that's what you're doing. You're priming the pump through the self-nurturing actions, which then expand self-love, which begins to bring you in coherence with the quantum self, the quantum energy of us, the unity of us. So have fun with that. If you have any questions, want to reach out, please feel free. If you're watching on a replay, let me know. And I want to mention that I also have on my website, empoweredwholebeing.com, as it's scrolling on the bottom of the screen here, I have on there a MP3 audio file. And it's a meditation technique, which, what is meditation? It's just the practice of shifting energy from contraction fear to expansion joy. And this technique is based on my quantum biological research, on quantum biology research. And so that it addresses all of our transmission and reception quantum biology, quantum biological aspects of our being, because we're not really solid. Our physical body is an energy field as well. And so taking into account the heart's the primary transmitter of electromagnetic frequencies, aka feelings, the belly brain, which is the whole enteric nervous system, the primary receptor of those feeling frequencies, has over 100 million neurons, does a lot of the work that the brain in the head, it actually controls more of how we feel and what we think than the brain in the head does. So it's based on all this research. It's free. If you go to the website, go to the tab that says Self-Discovery in the menu, hover over that, you'll see the drop-down box with Divine Heart Coherence Technique. Click on that, and then you'll have access to the instructions, a downloadable PDF of the instructions, which I highly recommend reading at least once or twice, because this is a different approach. And then below that link for the PDF is another link for accessing the audio file download. Click on that. It'll take you to a short little contact form. And when you submit that form, just wait a heartbeat, because you'll be automatically redirected to the download file. And then have at it. Earbuds, iPillow, just make sure you immerse yourself as much as possible and block out as much of the physical world as you can while you do it. And then the other thing is that I did mention my book. This is the information that I put together based upon my research as a metaphysicist and studying quantum physics. And I refer to myself as a metaphysicist because I view it as the study of the science and philosophy of being. Because that's what metaphysics is the philosophy of being, the study of the philosophy of being. And I feel like it's the science, the quantum physics also is important. So until then, I wish you so much joy and have fun with the self-nurturing. I really recommend it. And then I'll see you again next week, hopefully.